So yesterday we have written some methods by taking object as a parameter. When we need to take object as a parameter, why we need to take object as a parameter? If you want to send multiple values as a input for the method, then it is recommended to take one object as a parameter. For example, I want to supply one person data as a input for the method. Okay, person data nothing but person will have a ID, person will have a name, person will have a gender, person will have a height, person will have a weight. Okay, now I want to write a method which will take person data as a input. Now I'm going to write like this: void print integer ID, then string name, then character gender, then double height, then double weight. Okay, I'm writing one method. For that method, I'm taking so many parameters. Those parameters are representing one person data. Now, instead of writing a method like this, can I keep all these properties inside one class called person class? Can I keep all these properties inside a person class? Now, can I write a method like this? Void print of person P. Which is recommended? Method first approach is recommended, second approach is recommended, second approach is recommended. Why second approach is recommended? Why second approach is recommended? We are writing a program. That program we are doing by using Java. Java is a object-oriented programming language. Everything we need to represent in the form of object. If you see my first method, in the first method what I am doing? I am taking parameters. How many parameters are there? 5 parameters are available. One person is having 5 variables. ID available, name available, gender available, height available, weight available. All that data I want to pass as an input for the method. If you want to pass any data as an input for the method, you need to take it as a method parameter. If you want to supply some data as an input for the method, then you need to take it as a parameter. Whenever you are writing a parameter for the method, you need to understand what input you need to take for that method. What is the main purpose of the method? What is the purpose of the method? Take the input, perform the operation, give the output. Method will take input, method will perform some operation, method will give some output. Okay, what input we need to perform the operation? After operation got completed, what output we need to provide, that we need to decide. Based on that you need to write the method. Now I want to take one person data as an input. Person having a ID, person having a name, person having a gender, person having a height and weight available. Instead of taking 5 parameters for a method, those 5 properties I will keep inside a class. This class object I will take as a parameter. If I am taking object as a parameter, what is the meaning of that? All the properties I am taking as a parameters. Instead of passing all the values separately, I will keep all the values in one object. That object I will pass as a parameter for the method. Which one is recommended? Which one is recommended? Second approach is recommended. In the first approach, normal variables I am passing as a parameter. In the second approach, object I am passing as a parameter. What is the meaning of passing the object as a parameter? That object can hold any number of variables. Method parameter is a object. One object I am sending as a parameter. That object can hold the data. that object can hold the data. Perfect. So yesterday we have done lot of exercises with the object as a parameter. Let me open my IDE. Let me open my IDE. Still anybody not able to understand why we are taking object as a parameter? How to work with objects as a method input? Anybody not able to develop that? All of you able to do? Yes. Remove it. Remove it. I want to take one person. I want to take one person. So can I take a class person? Yes. Integer ID, string name, int age. Can I take like this? So what are the properties available? ID, name, age. These are variables. Am I initializing the variables? No. What type of variables? These are instance variables. Why we will call them as instance variables? These variables are declared inside the class, outside the method. That's why those variables are called as instance variables. Okay, one class is ready. Person class is ready. Person class having just instance variables. There is nothing available. Now I am creating one more class with a name called driver. Can I take two classes? Yes, I'm taking one more class with a name called driver. Inside the driver class, I am taking one main method. What is the purpose of a main method? To run the program. Program execution will start from the main method only. Execution will start from main method. Along with this, I am taking one more method called void print method. For the print method, can I take person object as a parameter? I'm taking person object as a parameter. Now I can print the values. System.out.println p.id plus p.name plus p.age. p.id, p.name and p.age. So what is the purpose of this print method? What is the purpose of this print method? It is used to print the data available inside the person object. Void. What is the meaning of void? That method will not return anything. That method will take the input, it will perform the operation. That's it. वो कुछ नहीं return करेगा. That method is not returning anything. I have a void print method. Method is expecting object as a parameter. That method is printing the data available in the object, but the method not returning anything. When your method is not returning anything, you need to take void as a return type. Are you able to follow me? What is the purpose of void? If method don't want to return anything, then we will write void. What is the purpose of the parameter? To take the input. What input my method is expecting? Object. Which object it is expecting? Person object. It is expecting person object. What is the meaning of that? All the person class variables it is expecting as a input. Now this method is a static method or this method is a instance method? That method is a instance method. How to call the instance method? By using object. Now I need to call the print method. Print method available in the person class. Print method available in the driver class. Driver class. So which class object I need to use to call the print method? Driver class object. Why I need to use a driver class object? That method is presented in the driver class. Able to follow me? I told you, oops, will take time to understand. I'm explaining in detail how to work with the methods. Methods I can complete within 1 or 2 days of time, but the rest of the course depends on the methods only. Every day you need to write the method. Which method we need to write, what input you need to take, what output you need to take, what logic you need to write, how to call that method. That is most important for the developer. That's why I'm spending extra time for the methods. Got it? Yes. Now I want to call my print method. Can you tell me the code for that? Can you tell me the code to call the print method? Driver D is equal to new driver. What is this line is going to do? Object creation. Object creation. Where that object will be created? JVM heap area. Object will be created at the compilation time. Object will be created at the runtime. Object will be created at the runtime. Programmer will create the object or JVM will create the object. Programmer will tell to JVM. JVM is going to create the object. What is the meaning of object creation? Memory allocation. Object is created. By using this object, can I call instance method of that class? Can I call instance methods of that class by using object? Yes. How can I call the instance method? D dot print. Can I directly call print like this? No. Why? Print is expecting a input. What is input it is expecting? Person object. So do we have the person object to supply? No. Can I create the person object to supply? Person P is equal to or P1 is equal to new person. When I create the person object, what will happen? Here also object creation. Here also object creation. After this object created, what will happen? Memory will be allocated for the person. Does the person class having any variables? Person class having any variable? Yes, person class having variables. Those variables will be initialized with the default value. Can I initialize my own value? Yes, p1.id is equal to some 201, p1.name is equal to some John, p1.age is equal to 30. Now, can I pass the p as a parameter? P1. What is that? P1. What is P1? P1 is a variable which is holding person class object. Can we understand how this program working internally? Can we understand how the program working internally? Yes. Now let's understand internals of this program. Now guys, here I have two classes. One is driver class. Inside the driver class, main method is available, print method is available. What is the parameter for the print method? Person. What is the parameter for the main method? String array. What is the return type of the main method? Void. What is the return type of the print method? Void only. Got it? So these are the two methods which we are having inside the in the driver class. Do we have any variables in the driver class? Do we have any variables in the driver class? No. Variables are not available. Only methods are available. Okay. In real time, a class will be represented like this. A class will be represented like this. So you might have seen UML diagrams in your academics, unified model language. Class diagrams will be available. So that is a class and which is having two methods. Void main method, void print method. And we are having one more class. What is that class? Person class available. ID, name, age. Do we have any methods in the person class? No. Person class having only variables. Driver class having methods. Now, person class is using driver class or driver class is using person class. Person is using driver, driver is using person. Driver is using person. Got my point? See here, driver is using person, person is using driver. Driver class is using person class, because driver class having a print method. Driver class print method is expecting person. Driver is dependent on the person. Are you guys getting my point? Person is using driver? No. Person is just a simple normal class which is having 3 variables. Driver class is there. Driver class is having a print method. That a driver class print method is expecting person class. Are you clear? Now, I am going to run this program. I'm going to run this program. Whenever we run this, first of all, this program is compiled. For this program, driver.class file will be created, person.class file will be created. There are 2 classes available. Whenever you compile, the source code will be converted to bytecode. .java file will be converted to .class file. So how many .class files will be created? 2 .class files will be created. For the driver, 1 .class file will be created. For person, 1 .class file will be created. It will be created as driver.class. It will be created as person.class. So here, this is a .java file. This is also .java file. Whenever we compile the .java file, .class file will be created. Now, I am running the program. I am running the program. Here, I am running person program, or I am running driver program. Driver program. Why? Where is the main method? Main method is available in the person class, or main method is available in the driver class? Main method is available in the driver class. Now, JVM will load which class now? Driver class. But the driver class is dependent on the person class. So, whenever JVM loads one class, it will load all the dependent classes also. I am running a driver, but inside the driver, print method available. Print method is expecting person. So how many classes it will load? It will load the both classes. When the both classes are loaded, those classes will be stored inside the method area. So here, driver class will be stored. Driver class code, driver class will be loaded, and person class also will be loaded. In which area? In which area? Method area. In which area? Method area. Those classes will be loaded. I am having a main method in the driver, but the driver is dependent on the person. So driver will be loaded and person also will be loaded into the JVM. Always remember one point. Whenever we run a program, JVM will load the .class file into its memory by using class loader subsystem. We understood JVM architecture. Do you remember? Yes. Whenever I run a program, JVM will start. That JVM will load the .class file into memory. And from now, remember, when the class is loaded by the JVM, JVM will load dependent classes also. Now, which class is dependent on which class? Driver is dependent on the person, or person is dependent on the driver? Driver is dependent on the person because driver class using person class. Are you clear with this? Yes. So when I run my driver program, driver class will be loaded and person class also will be loaded. In which area class code will be stored? Method area. When the classes are loaded, inside the method area, class code will be stored. Then after this, program execution will start from where? Program execution will start from the main method. Understand? Driver program I am running. Inside the driver program, main method is available. Program execution will start from the main method. Can we call that as a stack? Execution stack? Can I call that as a stack? Yes or no? Java stack. Execution details will be available in the stack. In this stack, what it will call first? It will call the main method. Main method is called as entry point for program execution. Whenever you run a Java program, First it will start execution from the main method. Inside the main method, do we have any logic? Do we have any logic for the main method, or we don't have any logic for the main method? We have the logic for the main method. What is the first line in the main method? Driver D is equal to new driver. What is the meaning of driver D is equal to new driver? Object creation. Where the object is created? In the heap area, it is going to create one object for the driver class. That object is pointed to one variable called D. So this is a driver class object. Which object is created? Driver class object is created. When the driver class object is created, it will check, do we have any instance variables in the driver class? Do we have any instance variables in the driver class? No. Just I am creating one dummy object. Just I am creating one dummy object. When the object is created, memory will be allocated and a hash code also will be generated. One unique number will be generated for the object. That unique number is called as hash code of the object. That object is having a reference variable. Why I am using this reference variable? To use the object. If I don't use driver D, is it valid? It is valid. Object will be created. But can I use the object? No. To use the object, I am storing the object into reference variable. What is the D now? D is a reference variable which is holding driver class object. But in the driver class, do I have any instance variable? No, not available. Next one. What is the next line? What is the next line? Person P1 is equal to new person. What is the meaning of that? I am creating a person object. What I am doing? I am creating a person object. That person object is pointing to one variable called P1. Person object is created. It is pointing to a variable called P1. In the person object, do we have any instance variables? Yes. What are the instance variables available? ID, name, age. So when the object is created, memory will be allocated for the instance variables. Are you guys getting my point? When the object is created, memory will be allocated for the instance variables. How many instance variables are available? 3. ID, name, age. Now, these variables are initialized or these variables are not initialized? These variables are not initialized. Not initialized. Then it will initialize with the default value. ID is a int, means 0. Name is int, means null. Age is a int, means 0. That's it. Object creation completed. Object creation completed. That object is pointing to P1. P1 is pointing to object. P1 is a reference variable holding person class object. This is my person class object. Object is created in the heap area. Object is created in the heap area. This is my person class object. Okay. With this, just 2 lines of code is completed. Okay. For 2 lines of code, see how much drama is happening in the JVM. So Java files are available. Java files are converted to .class files. When I executed my program, .class files loaded into the JVM by class loader subsystem. Those for the classes, it is allocating the memory. Classes code stored into method area. Then execution started. Execution started from the main method. That execution will be stored in the Java stack. That means which methods are executing. Stack is created. Main method is executed. Inside the main method, driver class object is created. That means memory allocated. Driver D is equal to new driver. D is a reference variable which is pointing to driver class object. When the object is created, memory will be allocated, hash code will be generated, one line completed. Come to the next line. When it come to the next line, what is available? Person P1 is equal to new person. That means it is creating one more object, one more memory it is allocating. Person P1 is equal to new person. Object is created. Person class having instance variable. When the object is created, memory will be allocated for the instance variable. Memory allocated. Variables are not initialized. So it is initializing with the default value. So with the 2 lines of code, this much functionality happened in the JVM. Can we see that with our eyes? Why? It is a virtual machine. We cannot see. We have to understand that. Clear, guys? Now, with these 2 lines of code, 2 objects are created. After, what is the next line? P1.id is equal to 201. What is the meaning of that? This 0 will be overriding with the 201. I am reinitializing the variable. Then P1.name is equal to John. That means what I am doing? This null value will be replaced with the John. Null value replaced with the John. Age. Age is equal to 30. Age will be 0 will be replaced with the 30. Age will be replaced with the 30. So with that, object initialization completed. Object initialization nothing but initializing instance variables of that object. Object initialization nothing but initializing the variables of the object. With this, my variables got initialized. Okay. After this, what is this? D.print. What I am doing? I am calling the print method. So now print method, main method is executing the main method is calling the print method. What I am passing to print method? P1. What is P1? What is P1? P1 is a object. In this object, do we have the variables? Yes. By using that P1, can I access the variable value? P1.id. P1.id. When I call P1.id, what will come? 201. P1.name, what will come? John. P1.age, 30. System.out.println. What is the meaning of that? Printing. System.out.println. P1.id, P1.name, P1.age. So what output we will get? 201. John, 30. Now run this program. Run this program. When I run this program, can you see output is coming as expected? Yes. Observe how the program is executing. My program executing sequentially, or my program executing based on the control statement? Control statement. My program not executing top to bottom. You see here, my program execution will begin from main method. Then it will create the driver object. Then it will create the person object. Then it will initialize the variable. When I call the print method, it will execute this method. If it is executing sequentially, first this method should execute. But no, first which method will execute? Main method will execute. Inside the main method, I'm creating the driver object, I'm creating the person object, I'm initializing the person object data, I'm calling the print method. Print method is expecting person object. Inside the print method, I'm writing system.out.println, p1.id, p1.name, p1.age. ID is holding 201. Name is holding John. Age is holding 30. So these 3 values will be printed by which method? Print method. Which method will print the values? Print method. Print method is printing the values. System.out.println. After this statement is executed, do we have anything to execute in the print method? Only one line of code is available. That line is executed. It is completed. Is there anything to execute? No, there is nothing to execute. When there is nothing to execute, JVM will kill this method. JVM, because your execution completed, it is going to kill that. After this execution completed, JVM will come back to main method. Do we have anything inside the main method to execute after this line? This line is executed. After this line is executed, do we have anything to execute? No. That means main method also completed. Then what JVM will do? It will kill the main method also. Program terminated. Our program terminated. So entry point, exit point is the main method. Program starting at the main method, program terminating at the main method only. Are you guys able to understand the flow? Can I show you in detail? Yes. Observe. Observe, guys. Now I'm going to show you the program with line by line execution. Okay. Now my program execution started. My program execution started. From where it started, guys? Is it starting from the line number 1? Directly started at the line number 10. Why? Main method is available. So can I say that main method is the entry point for the execution? Yes. From that main method, I'm going to next line. I'm going to next line. One line completed. Driver D completed. Driver D is equal to new driver. What is the meaning of driver D? Object is created. Object is created. So that means, can I say memory allocated for the driver class? Object created. Now next one, person P1 is equal to new person. Check P1, person P created. Can you see the values of the person object? Age is equal to 0, ID is equal to 0, name is equal to null. What are those values? Default values. Why default values initialized? They are instance variables. When the object is created, memory allocated for the instance variable. After this, what I am doing? P1.id. P1.id. Now, can you see P1id red color? Why it is coming in the red color? Reinitialize. हम modify कर दिया था उसको. We modified that value. That's why it is showing red value. Boss, somebody modified me. Actually, object created with the default value. After that, I have initialized. That means I have modified that value. The color got changed. Guys, I am doing debugging. So this is not required for you at this moment. In future, we are going to understand what is this debugging also. Got it? I am doing the debugging. So line by line, I am executing my program. If you are interested to do this, there is a video in our channel. 4 years back, I have uploaded a video how to debug the Java program. Debug means executing the program line by line to understand internals of the program, to understand execution flow of the program. Okay? In the core Java, not in the core Java. In the Spring also, people will not teach you debugging. Because if you know debugging, faculty का importance नहीं होता. If you know the debugging, you don't need to talk to faculty, na? You will understand everything. What is happening here? Okay. P1.id completed. Next one, P1.name. Can you see? Now what happened? Name changed to red color. Why? I have reinitialized the name variable. Now let me go to age. Okay. Now see P1. What happened now? Age value changed to red color. What is the meaning of that? Age value got reinitialized. Okay. Now I am calling print method. What is the meaning of a print method? What I am doing? I am calling print method. Is that method expecting any parameter? Yes. What parameter? P1. That means person object. Now let's go to this. Control came to that method. Is it going in the sequential order? No. It is executing based on the logic. When I call the print method, my program went to print method. It is calling the print method. What is there inside the print method? Statement. Now, print method taken person object. Whatever the data I have initialized, is that data reflecting in that method? That means I passed one object. That means passing the object means passing the data. Okay, 3 variables I have, 3 variables available in the object. Object I passed as a parameter. Simple example, man. I want to give you 20 apples. Can I give you 20 apples like this? How I will give you 20 apples? A packet. A packet. I will take a packet. Inside the packet, I will keep 20 apples. I will give you the packet. Without packet, if I give 20 apples, can you easily catch it? Can you easily catch 20 apples without packet? No. Object is also same. I want to pass 10 variables as an input for the method. Passing 10 variables is recommended. Keeping the 10 variables in the packet, passing the packet is recommended. If general Java you can learn easily if you compare the Java concept with your real life. Understand? If I want to give you 10 apples, if I give 10 apples like this, can I hold it? Difficult. If I keep in the packet, easily with a single hand I can give you the packet. Same thing. Apples consider as a variable. Packet consider as a object. That's it. Simple na? For method, I want to give 10 apples. Giving 10 apples individually recommended. Keep 10 apples in the packet and give the packet is recommended. Giving the packet is recommended. Now, I want to give 3 variables as an input for the method. Giving 3 variables recommended. Keeping the variables in the class and giving the class object is recommended. Keep the variables inside a class. Give the object as an input. That is recommended. Why? Because tomorrow our web pages will be available. In the web pages, forms will be available. Login form will be available. Registration form will be available. In the registration form, you will enter name, age, gender, date of birth, father name, mother name, surname, mobile number, email ID, password. 10 values. Is it recommended to take 10 variables as a parameter for the method? Then what we need to do? Take one object. Inside that object we can have multiple variables. Simple. Now, instead of taking the variables, I am taking object as a parameter. Object nothing but a container, collection of variables. Let me go to my project. That also will be loaded. It will load. It will load. Guys, see this. What is the parameter of this method? What is the parameter of this method? Income. Now, what is the meaning of income? Income is a class which is having 4 variables. Am I taking 4 variables as an input for the method? I'm taking object as an input for the method. Object as an input. Why? Easy. Instead of taking 4 variables as a parameters, 4 variables I'm keeping inside a class. That class I'm taking as a parameter. Everything will be represented in the form of classes and objects because we are working with Java. Java is a object-oriented programming language. Our data should be represented in the form of objects and classes. I will show you the example. Now that is our major project, guys. In the Java real-time project, there is a screen. There is a screen called income screen. What is the data? Case number, monthly salary income, rent income, property income. There are some 4 variables, 4 fields are available. When I click on submit, what will happen? These 4 fields data will go from front end to back end. In the back end, how I am representing that data as a object? Am I taking integer, case number, double salary income, double rent income, double property income? Am I taking like that? No. What I am taking? As a object. Simple. Observe. 20 apples coming. 20 apples I am not taking one by one. Keep in the basket or keep in the packet. Give me the packet. I will expect the packet as a input. I will expect packet as a input. Understand? Why we are taking object as a method parameter? Why we are taking object as a method parameter? Passing the data to the method is easy through objects. If I don't take object, we have to pass the variable. For example, person is having 20 variables. Then what you need to do? 20 parameters you need to take for the method. Is it recommended? No. What is the recommended approach in the Java? From now, if you want to represent the data, take a class, declare the variables, create the object, store the data. From now onwards, data should be represented in the form of object. If you want to pass some data to the method, don't pass directly. Pass as a object because it is easy. In the real time, every project will expect the data in the form of objects only. Let me show you my project. I am preparing the ground for you. I am preparing the base. Base I am preparing to develop a project, right? Can you see this method parameter is what? Just one ID. It is expecting only single value. When it is expecting single value, directly I am taking long parameter. Come down. This method not taking any parameters. This method, it is taking what? Plan selection. What is plan selection? Class. That class is having some variables. How many variables available? 4 variables. That means this method is expecting 4 values. Instead of passing 4 values I am creating in the class. That a class object I am passing as a method input. Got it? Now come down. What is this? Save income data. This method is used to save the data which is coming from this page. From this page, user will submit the data. That data will go from the front end to back end. What back end should do? Back end should save the data. My back end method taking 4 variables or it is taking one object. Object contains 4 variables. Are you guys able to understand the real time? Front end form is available. User will fill the form. User will submit. Front end data should go to back end. Back end will store the data in the database. So here data is transferring from front end to back end to database. In the back end, I am representing the data in the form of object. Now come down. What is this method? Save education. What is the parameter? Education. See, there is a screen. Education details. Case number, highest degree, graduation year, university. How many fields are there in the front end? 4 fields are available. There is a method to save the data. Education. Go to education, case number, highest qualification, graduation year, university name. So here form is available. Here class is available. In the front end form is available. In the back end class is available. Form data I am representing with one object. I am not taking 4 variables for the method. My method is taking only one variable, that is a object. That object is having fields data. Now, do you understand why we need to take object as a parameter for the method? Yes, can anyone tell me? To reduce the number of variables for the method parameters, we will take the object. And I can, in the other way, I can say, if you want to supply multiple values as a input for the method, you can send them as a object. Are you guys understand? Right. Now scroll down. Is there any other method available? Okay. Can you see this? Child request. Child request. Go to this. Do I have the variables? Yes. Go to the child. Do I have the variables? Project means what? Classes, objects, methods. That's it. Classes, objects, methods. Class means it is a plan. Inside that variables will be available, methods will be available. What is the purpose of the variables? What is the purpose of the variable? To store the data. What is the purpose of the method? To perform the action. What is the purpose of object? To objects are used to initialize the variables and call the methods. Objects are used to initialize the variable and call the methods. Getting my point? Good. Now, here that is completed. Come down. Come down. Can you see what is the parameter? Directly long. Why? That method expecting single value. When method expecting single value, directly you can pass it. When method expecting multiple value, pass it as a object. Now, if you budify, can you become a programmer? What is the conclusion from this? Dynamic programmer. Based on the requirement, our method signature is changing. Some methods are taking object as parameters. Some methods are taking long as parameter. Some methods are not taking any parameter. That is dependent on my requirement. Based on my requirement, I am developing that logic. Got it? So from now onwards, दिमाग काम करना पड़ेगा. You have to think to write the code. Without thinking, you cannot write it. Programming means thinking, analysis. You have to do proper analysis to write the code. If you are not able to do the analysis, you cannot write the code. Analysis is the most important thing. Good. No problem, guys. You will do it. You will do it. You will do it definitely. Because good. Yesterday in the project batch, we have written 200 lines of code within 30 to 40 minutes of time. Whatever the class you are seeing, that class we developed yesterday in our Java real-time project batch, within 30 minutes of time, we have completed 200 lines of code. If you see the code, see here, what is this? Control statement. Okay, logic is available. What is this? Object is created. What is this? Calling the method. What is this? Calling the method. What is this? If. Everything you can understand by looking at the syntax, because you know what is if, you know what is class, you know what is object, you know what is the method. But what you have to learn, how to write it on your own, that you have to learn. For that we are understanding the basics now. How to create the methods, how to take the objects as a input for the method. Now can anyone tell me why to take object as a input for the method? When you want to supply multiple values as a input for the method, then you can take object as a method parameter. Clear na? Still anybody not able to understand? We are clear. Good. Now, my program is waiting to execute. At which line number it is waiting? 6. What is there in the 6th line number? System.out.println. What is the purpose of that? Print the data. How I am printing? p.id, p.name, p.age. What is the meaning of that? Accessing the variables data by using object reference. F6. Now data is printed. My data is printed. After data is printed, is there anything to execute in the print method? No, directly it is waiting at the curly brace. When I come to the next line, where it came? It came to the main method. Where it started first? Main method. Where it is ending now? Main method. So, can I say entry point and exit point is my main method? Yes, for JVM, entry point is the main method and exit point is also main method. Understand? Good. Look at this. There are two classes available. Two classes compile. Am I compiling or my IDE compiling that? My IDE compiling that. That is auto compilation. Now I am running the program. When I run this program, which class is running? Driver or student? Driver. Why driver is running? Main method is available in the driver class. So driver class is running. Inside the driver class, main method available, entry point for the execution. Inside the driver object is created to call the print method. But to call the print method is expecting person object. So I created the person object. I initialized the variables of the person and I called the print method. Print method is taking the person as an input and it is printing the data on the console by using system.out.println. After print method completed, then it will come back to main method. Then main method also will complete. With that our program execution got completed. Got it? Yesterday someone asked me to explain internals. Why it is printing hyphen? I have given hyphen here. Concatenation. Just to separate the data, I have given double hyphen for separation. Good. Able to understand the internals of the program now? Easy? Okay. Now, next one. Write a Java method which will give object as a output. Understand? As of now, what we have done? As of now, for the method I have given object as a input. Now I want object as a output. If I call the method should give me object. Try. Write a Java method which will give person object with data. Write a Java method which will give person object with data. You already know my person class. It is having 3 variables. I want you to write a method which will give person object with data. I want object from the method. As of now, I have given something as an input for the method. Now, abhi method should give the object. Try. Person note down your doubts. Like this, it is correct. Can I take 3 return types? First one is for ID, second one for name, third one for age? No. Instead of 3, what I will take? I will take a person. So when I call get method, what I will get? When I call get method, what get method giving me now? Look at that. Person object. When I call get method, what it will give me? Person object. Understand? So when to take object as a return type? When to take object as a return type? When we have multiple values to return from the method, then take object as a return type. Simple example. Let's go here. Go to front end. There is one screen available, guys. There is one screen available. I am entering some number, that is a case number. I am clicking on the button. Observe, when I click on the button, am I getting one value as an output, or I am getting multiple values as an output? Can you observe? I have a screen. In this screen there is a field. I am giving the number 1, 2, 3. Click on the button. When I click on the button, what happened? Am I getting one value? Am I getting multiple values? Multiple values. That means when I click a button, one method is calling. When I click the button, one method is calling. That method is executing some logic. That method is returning some data. Method returning a single data. Method returning multiple fields, multiple values here. Multiple values. Then how to return multiple values from a method? Object. My method return type is a object. Now, can you see here, what is input for the method? Number. What is input for the method? Number. What is output from the method? Some records. Multiple records are coming. I am giving input as a number. I am getting the output as a records. So, for this method, parameter is a single value. Return type is a object. Why return type is the object? That method has to return multiple values from the back end to front end. Can I show you that method now? Yes, yesterday only we have done that method in the program. Now, so this is eligible. What is this? What is this functionality? Can you see this? Eligibility determination. There is a class available for that functionality. Let me show you that class. That is eligibility service. Now, can you see? Can you read the method name? What is this method name? Determine eligibility. Is it matching now? Eligibility determination. Determine eligibility. What my method is expecting? Case number. Long case number. That means single value or multiple value? Single value. Why I am taking single value parameter? From the UI, single value is coming as the input for the method. What my method is taking? Case number. See my variable name also? Case number. Method is taking single value. Why I am not taking object as a parameter? From the front end I am getting the single value. Then why I need object? Are you understanding? From the front end, in the front end screen, user will give the single value in the field, click on the button. When you click on the button in the front end, that front end request will go to back end. My Java code is available in the back end. My front end code available in the Angular. Front end code in the Angular or HTML, kuch bhi. So when user enter one field here and click on the button, this field, this number will go as an input for the method. Then what my method is returning? Response. Response is a one value. Response is multiple values. Multiple values. Can I open this class? Yes.